Assalamualaikum and good evening for our lecturer and my fellow friends. Today we are from Grade 11 giving a video presentation for our group assignment of Elementary Statistic, and this video was prepared for our lecturer Mr. Aris. So this is our members group, which is led by Gan Min Yee, Nurul, Izzati, Muhammad Ikmal and Syahira. And our topic for this presentation about data set to Portuguese language course. So I will start with introduction and objective. Language is system of traditional spoken, physical through sign language or written symbol by means in which human beings express themselves as a member of the social community and participant in its culture. The language was formed as a communication tool and daily speech. It can also become an official language and can be used for administrative purposes, including for Portuguese language. As Portuguese language is one of the most common languages in the world, learning Portuguese language makes people easier to communicate and helps to gain a deeper understanding of local cultures. At the end of this study, we hope that we can conclude on what factors that drive Portuguese language course grade and provide useful information to help improve the Portuguese language course grade in the future. And this is for our objective, which is to identify the student's background. The second, to observe the significance, characteristic influence the grade of the student in Portuguese language course. And the third is to investigate the relationship between all related factors that can contribute to student into Portuguese language course. Now we are moved into methodology. First is data collection, and based on the data set given, it is applied with the secondary data. Thus, this dataset was given by the lecturer that will be used in the report data. For scale of the measurement, it is proposed to ensure the data analysis managed systematically. For this report, we use a nominal, ordinal, interval, and the ratio scale for qualitative and the quantitative data that apply for the section of the method of data analysis. For statistical tool use, our group applied with the Microsoft Excel for gathering the information data. We see that this application provided for numeric, formulas, and much more in order to align the data for the data analysis. Lastly is a statistical method analysis, and we are apply some graphical data such as frequency and percentage, simple bar chart, horizontal bar chart, multiple bar chart, and pie chart. Besides that, we are also use mean and standard deviation for evaluating the data, and it is important because they are related for making conclusion at the end of the report. This is the table of the list of the measurement scale of the different variable, and it has have 12 different variable with the appropriate scale used for the relationship between all the related variable in the next chapter.
Now, I will continue our presentation with respondent profile analysis. As we can see, out of 150 students, 79 of them are female and 71 students are male. So, most of students are female, which occupy 52.7% of all students, while male students occupy 47.3%. Based on the bar graph, the mode of students' age in Portuguese language course is 15 years old. It represents 50% of the students' population with the number of 75 students. Conversely, only one student is 19 years old. The smallest portion of the pie chart is 3.3%, meaning that only a small percentage of students' father are at home. Besides, most of the students' father job is work in other categories, which represents 54.7%. There are two sectors of the student mother's job have the same percentage, which are health and at home. Both of them represent 10%, while the biggest portion of the student mother's job is in others category, which is 37.3%. Kinet, the mode of weekly study time is 2 to 5 hours, as it has the biggest portion, which is 47.33%. As we can see, the highest frequency of the number of school absence is 0 day, as 50 students out of 150 students in Portuguese language course are never absent. Conversely, only one student was absent for 1 day. Based on the pie chart, the students who take less than 15 minutes to reach school has the biggest portion with 69.34% of students. Conversely, only 3.33% of students who take more than 1 hour to reach school. Next, 56% of students are involving themselves in extracurricular activities, and the rest of them, with 44%, are not involved in any extracurricular activities. Based on the pie chart, 16.67% of students have no internet access at home, while the rest of them, with the percentage of 83.33%, have internet access at home. Next, students who do not in a romantic relationship have the biggest portion in the chart with 74.67%, while only 25.33% of students who in a romantic relationship. Hence, most of the students in Portuguese language course are not in a romantic relationship. According to the bar graph, the mode of current health status of student is excellent, as it has the highest frequency, which is 71 students. Thus, we can conclude that more than half of students in Portuguese language course has an excellent current health status. As we can see, for the first period, the mode of student grade is 13, while none of them score grade 7. But only one student scored the highest grade in the first period, which is 18. For the second period, there are 3 students score in the highest grade, which is 17, but none of them score 18 in second period grade. And for the final, the mode of students grade in the final is 11, which is 33 students. None of them get the lowest grade of 0, but only one student scored the highest grade in the final, which is 18.
Now, I'll continue our presentation with analysis related to the topic. First of all, we are going to measure student grade based on weekly study time. Based on the figure, we can clearly see that the student who spend 5 to 10 hours per week in study contribute the highest mean score. The lower mean score is contributed by whose study time less than 2 hours per week. Thus, it shows that the student who spend less than 2 hours on studying will get a lower grade because they were not prepared well for the test. However, the student who spent 5 to 10 hours per week in study recorded a lower standard deviation. Meanwhile, the student who spent less than 2 hours per week in study recorded a higher standard deviation. Secondly, we are going to measure student grade based on absence. According to the figure, we know that the highest mean score is from the student who are never absent. In contrast, the student who absent 11 days and above get the lowest mean score. It shows that the student who are absent 11 days and above will get a lower score, as there will be a drawback from missing out on several of the measures covered. Besides, the student who absent 1 to 5 days recorded a higher standard deviation, while the student who absent 11 days and above recorded a lower standard deviation. Thirdly, we are going to measure student grade based on extracurricular activities. From the figure, we can know that the students who are involved in extracurricular activities have a high mean score compared with the students who do not involve in extracurricular activities. Therefore, the data prove that the involvement in extracurricular activities can improve course grade, as it can increase student brain function and help them to be concentrated. Besides, the standard deviation of the students who do not involve in extracurricular activities is higher than the students who involve in extracurricular activities. Next, we are going to measure student grade based on internet access at home. According to the figure, we can know that the students who have internet access at home recorded a higher mean score. Thus, we can conclude that having internet access at home can improve student grade, as they are able to learn more about Portuguese language through search engines such as Google. However, the students who have internet access at home recorded a lower standard deviation. Lastly, we are going to measure student grade based on romantic relationship. From the figure, we can know that the students who do not in a romantic relationship get a higher mean score. Hence, we can conclude that the students who do not in a romantic relationship can get a better course grade, as they are able to spend more time in their study. However, the students who in a romantic relationship have a lower standard deviation compared to the students who do not in a romantic relationship.
I will continue our presentation with conclusion. In this study, most of the respondent is female and at the age of 15. Most of the father and mother of respondents are work in others category. Based on the weekly study time and the number of school absence of 150 respondents, we can conclude that the majority are willing to learn Portuguese language. The factors which influence the grade of student in Portuguese language course are weekly study time, number of school absence, extracurricular activities, internet access, and romantic relationship. Hence, we have completed all the objective of the study in this report. We have successfully concluded on what factors that drive Portuguese language course grade and provide useful information to help improve the Portuguese language course grade in the future. That's all from our group. Thank you.